Hello and welcome to the Lara Cross Country and Biathlon Centre. Great to have you with us. The 2014 Paralympic Winter Games and the first of the cross country events. Very much looking forward to this one. It's the men's 15 kilometre sitting event. 21 athletes from 9 countries. Under grey skies, but the conditions are very mild. That's been the story for some time now. Temperatures very friendly, but softening the snow. However, that's when the wax technicians really earn their money as they sort out the best surface to apply to the skis and send their athletes out with the best chance of doing well. The women's 12K sitting event is also on the schedule today. We start off though with the men, and it's a great field full of Paralympic and world champions. Good crowd starting to gather. We've had excellent crowds for biathlon events so far, and now it's the turn of cross country. So we've got competitors coming from the United States, Canada, Italy, Brazil, Poland, Ukraine, Russia, Japan. The snow, yes, wet and soft. The air temperature 11 degrees. That's really so very warm for early March, and humidity 51%. A little bit of breeze around today. It's been mostly still conditions we've been enjoying up till now. The athletes will head off with 30-second intervals. And the first man will be from the United States, Brian Price. Forecast for a bit of rain around, so Price to lead them off. Fortier of Canada is there. Brook of Canada also. Fernando Roca of Brazil. United States, Canada, Italy well represented. The more seeded skiers are towards the bottom of the field. Rossieck had a good finish in the biathlon. So too Lyudmyla and Andrew Saul. Chris Kleebel, Canada, not without a claim in this race. But it's Kubo, Masiello, Yorovyi and Petushkov. Two of the Russians in the last 3 really could be featuring. It's an interval start, so it's not first across the line, it's the skier with the fastest time. Fernando Roca, and LW 11.5, that's his classification. We're looking at athletes in classification between LW 10 and LW 12. With, leg impairments, and the factoring system is allowing athletes from different classifications with different impairments to race against each other fairly. With Davidovich, who'll go off in the number 19 bib, third last, second at the 2011 World Championships, Vancouver gold medalist. Japanese supporters have been fantastic at these games. See, the mild conditions has prompted some of the athletes to come out just in shirt sleeves. You really don't need to worry too much about getting cold, unless of course it should rain, and that's not impossible today. They're not far away from the start. Crowd well informed and well entertained in the lead up to the start of the race. So into the gate comes Brian Price. We're underway then in the men's 15K sitting, and it's his birthday today. 33-year-old Brian Price, the former Staff Sergeant in the US Army, served for 8 years, and was off on the groomed tracks at the start of the race. It'll be hard work. These men will be giving absolutely everything. They'll be exhausted by the time they finish. 15Ks is a long way to wet, slow snow. 27-year-old Sebastian Fortier from Quebec, second Paralympic Games for him. A couple of rotator cuff injuries last year, well behind him now. And he'll be looking for a good race also. He steps off after Brian Price. Canadians will have a bit to wave their flags about today. They're well represented here. Giordano Tomasoni, a 43-year-old father of two. He's been in wheelchair sports for 5 years. And he sets off. Another of the Canadian athletes, Yves Bourque from Quebec. Father of four, and he works as a wheelchair technician at home in Canada. He's in his mid-40s, but he's got every ambition of going to Pyeongchang in 4 years' time. He's fit enough, strong enough, and hungry enough. Why not? A tremendous attitude. So too, Roland Rouet of Italy from Bolzano. 2 gold medals in Salt Lake, a silver medal in Nagano. He's been around a while, and he knows what it takes. He knows how to push his body to the limits. He's got some water on board the ski there, and that will be needed in a 15K race, that's for sure. 35-year-old Fernando Roca from Brazil. Got some very valuable training, he says, in Colorado this year under US coach Mark Abbott this year in Sochi. Fernando himself from Sao Paulo. He was at the World Championships last year in Sweden. Took part in 3 events there. Augusto Jose Perez, born in Madrid, representing the United States, lives in Syracuse. 3rd Paralympic Games for him. Also a pretty successful outrigger canoeing exponent. Aaron Pike competed in the London Paralympics in track and field. Educated in Germany. And lives in Champaign, Illinois. Graduated from high school at the Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany. He's got an interesting story. So many of the athletes do. 3rd Paralympic Games for Camille Rossieck. He's already had a good finish in the biathlon event here. 13th placing. 29-year-old from Poland. Now you can hear it just sounds a little crusty, which is good. It's early in the day. It's been cool overnight, but it's quite warm now. Mikhailo Tkachenko from Ukraine. He's 37, finished 12th in the biathlon. 7.5K sitting event. A little longer at 15Ks. Yevgeny Lyudmyla. Yevgeny Jimmy had 3 top 20 finishes in Vancouver. He's 29 now. And he had an 11th here already in the biathlon. Well, that's one way to slow yourself down. Whoops. We'll try and stay on course. That's a bit of a problem there for Augusto Jose Perez in the United States. Too quick. And Rizal sets off. He was 10th in Vancouver in this event, the 15K. Andrew's on his way. US athletes going back-to-back here with Sean Halstead, 43-year-old from Spokane, Washington. That's Washington State on the west coast. And he had 3 top 10s in Vancouver. Disqualification did Halstead in the biathlon. But this is Brian Price. We've got checkpoints around the course. And he's the first to go through the first of them. Chris Kleebel of Canada. Born in Dusseldorf, grew up in Austria, represents the United States for a while, and then Canada. Been competing for Canada since 2011. So a citizen of the world, if you like, is Chris Kleebel. At his third Paralympic Games. Enzo Masiello. Silver and bronze in Vancouver. Flag bearer at the closing ceremony in Canada 4 years ago. For Italy. And first Italian male to win medals in Summer and Winter Paralympic Games. So quite a distinction. 32-year-old Koza Kubo loves to compete in long-distance wheelchair events to keep in fit for his cross-country and biathlon skiing. Finished third in the biathlon here, his first medal at the Paris. 5th and 7th placings in Vancouver. Italian rep going quite well. He's already taught e-book with Canada. And from the Russian Federation, away goes Alexander Davidovich. Third Paralympic Games for him. 7 top 10 finishes, but no medals yet. So maybe today for Davidovich. Daniel Nussen. He's only been skiing a few years, Daniel. He had a 14th in the biathlon over the 7.5K distance. And this twice as long, so a real test of the endurance for the men today. He did have a 6th placing at the World Championships last year over this distance. Could suit him. Irek Zaripov. The 30-year-old Russian, he's a big chance today. 2 gold medals in Vancouver in cross-country, 2 gold in biathlon, 6 medals at the cross-country World Championships. Perez coming through, 50 seconds down on Pike's time. Important first checkpoint, give us an idea of how they're traveling. Maxim Yarovyi. Still the medalist already in the biathlon. So many of the athletes competing in both biathlon and cross-country. Itsichenko coming through, 10 seconds quicker at the 2.1K. So the faster athletes towards the bottom of the field. Here he is, the last man to go out, Roman Petushkov. Already a Paralympic champion here in the biathlon. 4 gold medals at the 2013 World Championships in cross country, including the 15K. He's the man to beat for sure. Unless something goes wrong, he's going to post a very good time. Oh, and this bend is posing some problems for the skiers. All over the place. That's Nossen having an early fall, but quickly upright again. Lyudmyla coming through the 2.1Ks, a bit slower than Pavlenko. So all the athletes have left the start-finish area, and the spectators will turn their gaze to the big screen to see what's going on. Here's Roland Rouet of Italy, who's set off at a pretty good pace for the first couple of Ks. And before long, they're back into the stadium. 10 minutes apart, the first and last skiers to set off in this interval start system. So no sooner, as I said, they've all left the stadium, and some are back in. And Roland Rouet had a very good start through the race as he comes through, looking for that 3-kilometre checkpoint time. 58 into 9:44.8. 58 from Canada. So Rouet going along nicely. Keeping on progress with Chris Kleebel. Another one to watch today. 5:06 was the quickest time through there. That would belong to Sol, but Kleebel's through just a bit quicker. 1.6 seconds. He shaved from that. Sony through the start-finish area, 3K. So 5 laps of 3 kilometres. That's what lies before the athletes today in this one. Even in the duration of this race, you might hear the sound of the snow just changing slightly. Encouragingly, it's a little bit crusty and colder and quicker, but as it softens, it'll get harder to ski through. Yellow of Italy, 13 seconds slower than Kleebel, early days. Yellow, second at the 2013 Worlds, third at the 2011 World Championships over this distance. Pavlenko coming through 19 seconds. Got the best time through the 3K checkpoint. Pavlenko out in bid number 10, so he's sort of at the midpoint of the field, if you like. But the boys will really be looking at Zarapov, Yorovyi and Petushkov. Also keep our eyes on Kozo Kubo of Japan. Kubo's in bid number 16. Andrew Sol coming through. Pavlenko's 8:32. He's looking to beat at the 3K mark, and Sol working hard already. The pain on the face is there for us all to see. 19 is Zarapov coming up to the 2.1 kilometre checkpoint, and he shaves a little time off Davidovich. So we're getting quicker and quicker as we get towards the sharp end of the field, if you like. Wait for the times of Yorovyi and Petushkov. Yorovyi, who's an LW10, will have a more significant factoring percentage applied to his time. In real time he'll be a little slower, but his factoring time will be good. It's Kleebel. Carefully around the bends. Not easy on these sit skis, but get that just right. The skiers with higher trunk function find it a little easier to lean into the corners. Petushkov 6.1 seconds quicker than Zadapov. So he's the favourite, and he's skiing like he intends to live up to that favouritism. Kleebel coming back into the stadium for a 3-kilometre checkpoint time. 8:21 to beat from Andrew Soule, and he's got him by a couple of seconds almost. Canada and the US going nicely. Yorovyi 9.4 seconds down in the time of Petushkov. So Russian fans getting a little bit excited about their prospects here. They've got plenty of them. They've got Zadapov and Petushkov and Davidovich. 3 of the last 5 skiers from the Russian Federation, each of them with a chance today. Masiello coming through the 3Ks. He's well outside Kleebel's time. And these times have had the factoring percentage applied to them, so we know as we move along who's in contention here. Here comes Davidovich, and he's got Kleebel by a couple of seconds. The picture just changes by the minute, by the second. Because of Kubo. Not quite on the pace today, it would seem. Kubo, third at the 2013 World Championships. Perhaps his endurance will come into play later in the race. Fortier at the next checkpoint. Extend the race, go out to further checkpoints. Fortier out in bib number 2, the Canadian. Fans having a great time, enjoy seeing themselves on the big screen. That's always part of the fun. Zadapov, 8:17. Davidovich's time through the 3K. Zadapov just outside that, 3rd position at the moment. It's looking good for some strong finishes here from Davidovich, Zadapov and Petushkov. Petushkov in his mid-30s, and for some of the cross-country and biathlon skiers, mid-30s is their prime. And Petushkov, he is really flying today. He's got Davidovich covered here surely. His time just coming up to 8 minutes, 17 seconds to get to the checkpoint and take up as the best time. And look, he's got him by 14.6. Back out onto the course. The new checkpoint time we're looking at is at 5.1 kilometres. Rossieck of Poland coming through nicely. Camille Rossieck. Sometimes the athletes choosing to be in the groomed tracks, sometimes in the fresher snow. Really trying to read as they progress what their wax is best suited to, in the tracks or not. Down the hill comes Andrew Soule. And the big American's having a pretty good race. Powerfully built, isn't he? And really apply some force to the stocks as he goes past one of his rivals. That being Giordano Tomasoni. Yorovyi, look for his time at the 3K. And look behind him to see how he might be closing in on him, but Yorovyi 26 seconds behind Petushkov. And it might be early days, but Petushkov looks like he might be the man today. Yorovyi over. Oh, that doesn't help. Gets up quickly, but there's another fall, Brian Price. So the skiers having a little bit of trouble with the course. Soft snow perhaps. All right, Brian's back and skiing well again. That's the main thing, back in the race. Really having some difficulties, Brian. I've got to put some of this down to the conditions. It's really quite difficult when the snow softens and it's wet. There are some little bumps and grooves on the snow that you can't always pick up, particularly in flat light like we have today. And I mentioned it's his birthday today. He's not having so much fun on his birthday as he's taken a couple of tumbles. And he's giving it his best shot. 7 years in the army. Brian Price. And Sebastian Fortier of Canada is catching up to him now. Fortier on the left of screen there. His hero is Sidney Crosby, one of the greats of Canadian hockey. Fortier through 6Ks. Time posted there, but the quicker skiers are all behind him, as we know. Davidovich through 5.1 in the best time so far. And that's for the times of Zadapov and Patushkov in particular. Zadapov, we know, has had a fall. Rossieck of Poland coming through the 6K mark. It's the second time into the stadium. Pachenko, he's going well. Ukrainian athlete in the 10 bib. Really looking for them to maintain their form. The ease of movement is a good guide to how you feel the athletes are travelling. Are they distressed? Are they hurting? Can they keep the best action going for as long as possible? Kubo, 32 seconds down on Davidovich. So he's just dropping further behind. I had this thought that maybe Kubo would get stronger the longer the race went, because he's a real endurance man. Zadapov, just a few seconds down now, but he's had that fall. Patushkov now. He's the man to watch as we come through, looking for his 5.1 kilometre time. 13:21 of Davidovich is the time to beat through here. And he's got that by 26 seconds. Patushkov is really skiing well today. Right on top of his game. He meant business right from the starting gate, didn't he? As Patushkov goes looking for a second gold medal. He's already shown his form in the biathlon. Fans might be yelling themselves hoarse by the time Patushkov finishes, because he is going very nicely indeed. 14, Chris Kleebel. Canadian working his way back into the stadium. US citizen, slipped through their fingers to represent Canada and has been doing so for the last 3 years, Kleebel. He did compete for the US Para-Nordic skiing team at the 2006 and 2010 Paralympic Winter Games, but then across to Canada. You look at his results from Torino and Vancouver, to realise he was competing for another nation. Davidovich coming through. So Kleebel through in 16:44, Davidovich 16:38. Davidovich in bib 17, there are 21 in the race. Patushkov, a race favourite, and quickest so far is in 21. Oh, nicely done. the two of them, Masiello and Kubo. Big pardon, in 19, that's Zarapov. Zarapov has caught a couple in front of him, including Daniel Nossen. Kubo, different classification to Zarapov. Has his time adjusted accordingly by the factoring system. Zarapov, Davidovich's time through the 6Ks, bottom of the screen there on the left, 16:38. And Zarapov is still a little outside it by 5 seconds. Not too much to worry about with still a good distance to go. 9Ks, a further 3 laps. Kubo through, 37 seconds down on Davidovich. So he's just kind of steadied off at about half a minute to 40 seconds behind. Petushkov now 34 seconds quicker than Davidovich. My goodness, what a race he's putting together. No surprise after his form in the biathlon. He could pick up a host of Paralympic championships here. He's in that kind of form. Nossen coming through at the 6Ks. Daniel Nossen, almost 2 minutes down on Petushkov. That's no slight on Nossen, that's more of a compliment to Petushkov. He's right on top of his game. In Sochi, we're a little to the north of that, some 50, 60 Ks away from Sochi is this beautiful Lyudmyla cross-country and biathlon centre. Nossen working his way around that tricky downhill sort of reverse camber right-hander. So after 6Ks, it was Petushkov by over half a minute from Davidovich and Zarapov. Russia 1, 2, 3. Although Kleibel just behind Zarapov. Chance for the Russian Federation to sweep the medals. Perhaps Andrew Sol will have something to say about that. The big American goes past his good buddy, Brian Price. 11 is Yevgeny Litvinenko. 42 seconds behind the time of Sol at that checkpoint. See the bare patches coming through on those areas away from the track. It's really in need of some more snow, this area, but we don't have too much control over that. Ruep of Italy battling away. 3:18 down though on Sol. And the downhill section, moment to get his breath back. Five laps of a 3-kilometre course. And the last few Ks will really be hurting. And Fernando Roca of Brazil. Short uphill and right-handed down again. And Roca a bit off the pace. Yorovyi. Second in the 7.5K biathlon was Yorovyi. This longer race perhaps finding him out, but of course he's also a very good marksman, and that helps his overall time in biathlon events. 11 of the competitors of the 21 today are backing up from competition in the biathlon. Interestingly, Sean Halstead was disqualified in biathlon. Kleibel, 12 seconds behind Davidovich. Still looking for some way to force his way onto the podium. are great, aren't they? One of the top sellers through the Sochi Olympic and Paralympic Games. Andrew Soul just looking around the stadium, seeing where everyone is. Who's he got to keep in mind? Who's he got to catch next? Taking that corner very effectively. Soul through 3 laps and 9 kilometres. Let's check his calculated, factored time. Back out now with the ecstatic. Soul, 51 seconds quicker than Tkachenko. So how long will Soul's time stand up at that checkpoint? Petushkov just getting further and further ahead of Davidovich. It was 20, 30 and then 40 seconds. Really short of a gear failure or an injury. Petushkov has got to be odds on here. Here comes Fernando Rocca. And Rocca, another one to get himself in a bit of trouble on the turns. Soft snow. Some of the Brazilian fans and supporters there. Kubo next, coming through 8.1k, so they're more than halfway through the race, and he's a minute 48 down on Petushkov. Nosson now coming through, and he's 2:30 behind the all-powerful Russian. 9k's into the journey, and here comes the Roland Ruep. Interesting polling style of our friend from Brazil, Fernando Rocca. Certainly breaks it up a little. Rocca, I mentioned out of Sao Paulo, had some beneficial training in Colorado. It's a nice exchange of knowledge and training facilities, allowing Rocca to go up to the US and get the benefit of that. Davidovich through in the new best time at 9k's. 25 minutes almost on the button. And Chris Kleeball will be outside Davidovich's time. Davidovich starting a few after him, and so his seeding is a little higher. Davidovich is probably the skier in the last 5 who's doing a bit better than his seeding. He's obviously having a good day, but skiing on home snow might well be worth something to these Russian Federation competitors. Here comes Davidovich. He'll be close to Davidovich's time. This is going to be a very good race for what looks like the minor placings behind Petushkov, who seems untouchable. Davidovich, and he's only 5 seconds behind Davidovich. Someone will give him that message, and someone will tell him, go hard, you've got 6k's left. Petushkov, well, he's almost a minute ahead, 12 seconds short of a minute, but seems like he'll accumulate those extra seconds probably on this next lap. Masiello. And on the alternate polling. Certainly gives the arms a little bit of a different feel. Some action out on the course, and Sebastian Fortier and nearly brings down Brian Price behind him. The two of them are really struggling with this wet, soft snow. Yorovyi, he's almost a minute down on Petushkov. So the battle for the minor medals looks like it's between Zarapov, Davidovich, Yorovyi. Look for Kubo's time at 9 Ks. He's out towards Halstead's. So he's in 9th position. And 18 there is Nossen. Kubo started a couple behind him, and he's just managing to catch the American now. He's a minute behind him. Well, was Andrew Sol. We're looking now at the 11.1 kilometre checkpoint. So they come through that one. Less than 4 Ks to go. 30 minutes 39 for Sol. Chenko. Minute 17 behind Sol. Litvinenko. 50 seconds behind the American. Aaron Pike. 32.20, so good couple of minutes almost behind his teammate Sol. Again, the mild conditions here prompting the skiers, particularly those who are used to the cold weather, and it's not that cold, to just go out there with bare arms. At the 11.1K, Sol from Litvinenko and Tachenko. No sign yet, though, of Petushkov. It's a different story when he comes through. And the next checkpoint for Petushkov is what these fans want to see. Is he still in the lead? Is he continuing to build it? Yes, 48.6 at 9 Ks. Well, the next one, we'll see if he's extending that. We wondered if he could get it up towards a minute ahead of Davidovich. Russia 1, 2, 3, then Canada and the USA. Here comes Davidovich. 11.1 Ks out. Next checkpoint. He looks like he's going to clip something off Sol. He does by almost 30 seconds. This is the pattern. Sol goes through it first, sets a time, and then the others take something from it. And Sebastian Fortier getting hard work towards the back end of this race. Shoulders hurting, chest heaving, heart pumping, and he's 6:40 down. And Roland Rouet, 5:26 behind Davidovich. Up the hill comes Brian Price. It's one way to spend your birthday. It's a huge effort, but it's a great honour. 14 and 13, Cleveland, Halstead. Cleveland started after Halstead, so a gaggle of them there in single file. Now out into the other tracks. He's 21, it's Petushkov. He's a minute ahead of Zarapov. What about Davidovich? Sol comes into the stadium for the 4th time. That means he's just got 1 lap to go. This 15K sitting event. First on the cross-country calendar. It's a busy schedule. Camille Rossieck. He's outside Sol's time with a lap to go. Closing in on him, Litvinenko started a minute behind him. Litvinenko. And in 10 there's Pavlenko. And Pike. Calculated time through 12 Ks. How far is he behind fellow American Andrew Sol? 1:53. So it'll all be aware they've just got one lap to go. How much can they push themselves, or lift themselves a place or two in this field of 21 in the men's 15K? Davidovich, he's fighting for a podium finish. Davidovich has been posting good times right throughout the race. What's he got left with a lap to go? Davidovich, all the experience in the world. Almost 30 years of age, but it's his third Paralympic Winter Games. 7 top 10 finishes across the years, looking for his first medal. Maybe today will be the day. He's through 12 Ks in 33 minutes. Kubo, that's 3 minutes down today. He's just not really up to the pace being set by this man. Pavlenko has just been awesome. He's certainly got a clear indication of the kind of form he's in with his victory in the biathlon, but it's one thing to win one race, to back it up, all sorts of emotions and can drain the body after a victory like that. But Pavlenko's just got on with it, rattling through his work. Davidovich 33.30. Now he's got him by over a minute. Well, as we suggested, as the pattern indicated, he's just continuing to build the lead, and it's Pavlenko's race to win or lose. He's got such a margin now. Zadapov. It is Russia 1, 2, 3. I love this. 14 is Kleebel coming through his 12K checkpoint. And Pavlenko, who started after all of these competitors, has got by them. He's in awesome form. Comes Roca, so Brazilian in the cross-country race. Seven minutes down on Pavlenko, and one lap to go for him. So it must cross the mind of these endurance cross-country skiers. There's still a few kilometres to go. Why do I do this? Why do I put myself through this? The honour of representing your country. It's high up there. Augusto Jose Perez. One of several skiers to have an early crash. Well, they got the feel for the snow. That seemed to be what was tricking them, the conditions. Masiello is 2.5 minutes down. Some stellar results in the past, but perhaps towards the end of his career. Highly decorated Italian Olympic cross-country and biathlon skier. Daniel Nossen coming through the 12 Ks. Three and a half to 4 minutes behind Pavlenko. Yarogi, Ukrainian, 1:11 down on Pavlenko. So there's just no one coming near him. Sol, 900 metres to go after passing through the 14.1 kilometre checkpoint. So he'll feel like the finish line is close. He'll be giving it everything to get there. Ivok of Canada. We've got a lap to go as he comes through here. In just under 44 minutes. Kubo's adjusted time through the 12Ks, close to 36 minutes. Shevchenko is outside Seoul's time with 900 metres to go. Moves across to the outside track. Where they want to be for the next left-hand bend. There's less metres covered on the inside trail, of course. And it's just a timing question as to when you move across between trails. Down the hill comes Aaron Pike. As the rhythm has slowed a little as the long journey takes its toll. The course well populated by spectators dotted around the place, and got some good vantage points. Davidovich still in contention. 38 seconds quicker than Seoul's time through there. And Davidovich's time might be the one to watch. He's got a few of the contenders behind him, but when Davidovich comes in, it should be with a time to get him onto the podium, and then it's how many beat him. Well, it's absolutely on the cards, a Russian 1-2-3. Here comes Petushkov. Surely he's going to be atop the podium. Gets past to Zadapov. Zadapov in 19. And Petushkov by a minute 15 over Zadapov, and Davidovich is a minute ahead of Davidovich. Zadapov, I beg your pardon. Davidovich by a little more. Andrew Soul coming down to the finish line, and the American has had an excellent race, gone out in the middle of the field. Now, he's a ballistics expert who really knows his way around a biathlon course, but so too with the cross country. And Andrew Soul comes in 42.53. And he was 10th in Vancouver. He's got a better finish than that coming up. 900 metres to go. Kleebel. Couple of minutes down on Petushkov. He's already been through here, so we know Petushkov hasn't got far to go. A big greeting awaiting the race favourite from the Russian Federation. Here comes the Camille Rossieck. Outside the time of Seoul, but finishing with a burst. He saved something for the home straight. And Rossieck driving it home. Litvinenko, 44 minutes 20 almost. Tkachenko, he's broken the stock there. I think he's only got one to bring it home, so that must have happened recently, but that wouldn't have helped him. Yeah, it looks like he's lost the basket off that the bottom of the right stock. That's a bit of bad luck for him. Yeah. The athletes all comparing stories and finishes. Here comes Alexander Davidovich. First of the skiers from the Russian Federation with a podium finish in his sights. Davidovich coming down to the line. Sol's time, 42.53, the one to beat, and he's going to do that. So for the moment at least, Davidovich is going to have the best time. Down to the line in 42.08.6. Pike, a few minutes behind Davidovich. Excellent race from Alexander Davidovich. In his third Paralympics, is it his first medal? Perhaps. Here comes Patushkov. Well, Patushkov, another Paralympic title in his sights. He raises his arms. He knows he's got it. Patushkov is going to wipe plenty off Davidovich's time. Patushkov to the line in 40.51.6. And Zadapov into second, a minute and 3 behind. Russia 1-2-3 at this stage. Patushkov, Zadapov, Davidovich. And he gets the congratulations in passing from Andrew Sol. 17, 19, 21. The odd numbers have it. Around comes Chris Kleebel. Kleebel into the home straight. And right behind him, Sean Halstead. Kleebel and Halstead are going to finish almost side by side. Plenty of room for them down the home straight. And Kleebel, a former US citizen competing for Canada for the last few years. Halstead 4 minutes behind, Kleebel 2:15. And Fernando Roca. Great to have him here, the Brazilian. Not far for him to go now. The Russians are celebrating. They know the result is pretty much set in stone now. Patushkov, Zadapov, Davidovich. A couple of Paralympic titles in as many days for Roman Patushkov. Making his way down to the line. The 35-year-old Brazilian from Sao Paulo. And well done to Roca. Tried his fortunes with wheelchair basketball, but decided skiing was a better option. He's made a good fist of it. Ruep of Italy. And a few finishing in close quarters here. Fortier of Canada in, 10.50 down. And Nosson as well. And they've all given it their very best effort out there in quite tricky conditions. The snow brought down a few of the competitors in the first lap or two while they got used to it. Augusto Jose Perez. Down to the line, 10.30 behind the time of Patushkov, who was lightning quick today. Yorovyi coming through this checkpoint, leaving him 900 meters to go, so you certainly know you're on the home stretch. Once that's done, inside the last kilometre of the 15k race, the embrace of someone he knows well, and he wishes him well, no doubt. Crowds enjoyed this race very much. Petushkov has just made his way through the field and posted an unbeatable time. 40 minutes 51.6, a minute 3 quicker than next best Zarapov. Kozakubo, not far to go for him. Japanese fans might have been hoping for better, but the pace a bit hot for him today. He's getting a big welcome though. 32-year-old from Abashiri. Splits his time between cross-country skiing and wheelchair racing, marathon wheelchair racing really. And after some good performances in Vancouver, just off the podium, he picked up a bronze medal in biathlon. Won't make the podium though in this first of his cross-country events. Coming down, all focus to the line, Kubo, in just over 46 minutes in 13th position. Gives a smile across to the Russian boys, and congratulations. I admire the camaraderie between these athletes. That's so true in most of the Paralympic disciplines. There's a mutual respect. Book down to the line, the Canadian, in 55.24. I'm sure his family's extremely proud of him. Back in Quebec, some of them have made it over here. Well, it really is a happy occasion at these cross-country and biathlon events. It's a wonderful centre. He's looking up into the crowd, Yarovyi. But to some degree, the race has been run and won by these three men. He was second in the 7.5K biathlon. He's coming around. He's going to be just outside Zarapov. Can he get Davidovich? Can he just snip a bronze medal here? He might do. Ukrainian pushing his way to the line for all he's worth. 42.08 to beat Yarovyi. Oh, is the line close enough? It's going to be very close. Oh, he's just missed it. Oh, by 0.2. He's missed out on third by 0.2. Yarovyi just miss out. Oh, that oh, the heart goes out to Maxim Yarovyi. Oh. But for Davidovich, it means a long-awaited medal. Some of the rest of the field making their way in now. Giordano Tomasoni of Italy. And his last few hundred metres really hurt. A bit of problem on the course. Stuck amongst the markers there. That was Tomasoni. And Russian boys doing a bit of a victory ski up the home straight. And I think as much as a second Paralympic title for Petushkov at the One Games is fantastic. The man who seems happiest is Alexander Davidovich, who's been trying so long to get this first podium finish, and he's finally done it. And he was nearly pipped, so nearly pipped by Yarovyi, just 0.2 of a second in it. And the relief is palpable. So an excellent race and a most rewarding one for the Russian team. A sweep of the medals in the men's 15K. Roman Petushkov, Irek Zanapov, Alexander Davidovich. Seven previous top 10 finishes have been for Alexander Davidovich. Third Paralympic Winter Games. And finally, he's going to get himself onto the stadium. Here he is. He could not be happier if he won the gold, I think. He's just thrilled to bits. Amazing effort, really, to squeeze out Daniel Nossen, Maxim Yarovyi, Pachenko, and Andrew Soul of the United States, all good competitors. But skiing in this stadium in front of this crowd, it's certainly lifted Davidovich and Zadapov, Petushkov. And I think he could have held the race anywhere in the world. He could have held it on Mars and he still would have won. He was absolutely dominant. Put the flag on the stock, hold it aloft. There we go. Trying to manufacture something here with the Russian flag, but Davidovich, Petushkov, and Zadapov, right to left. Confirming placings for you in the men's 15K sitting are Roman Petushkov, Irek Zanapov and Alexander Davidovich, all from the Russian Federation. Just outside of the podium finish, Maxim Yarovyi of Ukraine. And Sol, Kleibel and Masiello, USA, Canada and Italy. Good races from all of these competitors. Nossen, Pike, Rossieck, Halstead, all gave it their best shot. No one a match today for Petushkov. Well, the crowd's been thoroughly entertained and much pleased by the race and the results. Federation was really hoping to be able to put some results together at biathlon and cross-country events, and that's how it's panning out. And most particularly in this event, is they've managed to sweep the top 3 positions. We're standing by for what we hope will be a flower presentation ceremony not too far away, so do stay with us if you'd like to watch that. We just have to wait till everything gets organised for that to take place. It shouldn't be too long, so stay with us if you'd like to see the acknowledgement of the achievements of Petushkov, Zadapov and Davidovich in front of this deliriously happy, mainly Russian crowd.
километров. Мужчины класс сидя. Оставайтесь с нами.
Ladies and gentlemen, the flower ceremony for the cross-country skiing men's 15-kilometer sitting.
Дамы и господа, цветочная церемония награждения победителей и призеров по лыжным гонкам. 15 километров мужчины, класс сидя.
Well, this flower ceremony for the men's 15k sitting cross country is going to bring a lot of pleasure and pride to the host nation with a 1-2-3 for the Russian Federation. Alexander Davidovich, you may not see a happier third place getter than this man. Irek Zadapov and Roman Petushkov, the favourite who has so convincingly lived up to that expectation. The crowd has waited on patiently for this presentation, which I've just had introduced, and almost had a full start to it. The athletes should really be on their way out as soon as that announcement is made, but that's not quite happened. You can see them there. The press are gathered to take the all-important photos to send around the world, and fans are certainly ready. It looks like the athletes are ready, so I don't know why we're not altogether ready. Here we are. Athletes come out. There's Davidovich and Zadapov and Petushkov.
The flowers will be presented by Mr. Patrick Jervis, governing board member of the International Paralympic Committee.
Цветы вручает господин Патрик Джарвис, член Международного паралимпийского комитета.
Bronze medalist, representing Russian Federation.
Бронзовый призер, представитель Российской Федерации, Александр Давидович.
Alexander Davidovich. Still pinching himself perhaps at his third Paralympic Winter Games. Before today, he'd had 7 top 10 finishes without claiming a place on the podium, and his moment has finally arrived after great patience and perseverance.
Silver medalist, representing Russian Federation.
Серебряный призер, представитель Российской Федерации, Irek Zadapov.
Irek Zadapov, 2 cross-country gold medals in Vancouver, 2 in biathlon, 6 medals at cross-country world championships, and a second place here in the men's 15k. He's got quite a collection.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion, representing Russian Federation.
Золотую медаль и звание чемпиона Паралимпийских игр завоевал представитель Российской Федерации Роман Петушков.
Roman Petushkov seems to have waited a long time to realise his Paralympic potential. He's won plenty of gold medals at World Championship level in cross country. He's got 7 events he's down to participate in Sochi, and already he's 2 from 2. Victory in the biathlon, victory in the 15k. How many might it be? He looks in unbeatable form.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Paralympic medalists.
Дамы и господа, победитель и призеры Паралимпийских игр.
So there they are. Russia 1, 2, 3 in the 15k sitting. Alexander Davidovich, Irek Zadapov and champion Roman Petushkov. Well, the kind of race, the kind of result that the host nation was hoping might happen occasionally, and it's happened right here in the men's 15k cross-country sitting, with Davidovich, Zadapov and Petushkov delivering the 1, 2, 3. And it's been a very enjoyable beginning to the cross-country program. Lots more to come, and we hope that you'll be with us too when we bring you more of the cross-country program from the Laura Cross Country and Biathlon Centre.